Alrighty, guys. Today I'm honored to introduce a remarkable individual who not only conquers the weights, but also champions a cause that goes beyond the gym. Travis has donated thousands of dollars, done backpack drives filled with school supplies, donated food to hungry children, and printed heavy-duty clothing for kids who walk to school in the cold winter months. Travis is truly a remarkable person. If you could all join me in welcoming him as our last commentator. Travis, what's going on?
What's going on, man? Happy to be here.
We're happy to have you. Slight little reverb. Calvin, if you're in chat, could you DM me like a fix for this? But go ahead, Travis. I'm sorry. Introduce yourself. I'm gonna be quiet.
My name is Travis Rogers. I'm from the Maryland area, DMV, more towards the coastline and the shore. I run powerlifting meets, both for WRPF. I used to run USPA, and now currently I'm also looking to expand to the SPF, so I'll be running multiple feds out of my gym, which did start out as a garage gym nonetheless, so very acceptable place to be talking about this. Actually, I really bought the building for our gym, the Bear Cave in Salisbury, Maryland. It was a barn at first, so a real garage gym. It was a renovated chicken coop during COVID. So actually, when we had the first year of garage gym come out, is when about a year and a half later I purchased an actual building. So it's really cool to be on this with you guys and talk about garage gym and review these videos. Something that I hold pretty close and near and dear to my heart, just because it is something that I turned from a garage into something special for a lot of people, including myself. So, and actually the video you're about to look at, that's my intern, Nate from SU. He's my first intern from the college this year, and he's looking to do his first official meet in March. So I'm very excited for him. He's a good kid, 21 years old, fresh guy, doing business management, facility management, and health and fitness. So he's looking to do his own gym, kind of become a personal trainer, and I've just really taken him under my wing as a good guy. But all in all, what I do in the area, besides running meets and stuff, I'm a very frequent competitor myself. I've been in the top 10 rankings for the 198 Raw and Sleeves divisions for the last 5 years, totaling between 1850 in sleeves to 1950 in wraps. Unfortunately, about a year and a half ago, I had a bilateral quad surgery, so I tore both my quads at the same time.
What?
Yeah, completely off the bone. And had one of them rolled up inside of my leg, the other one literally exploded. It looked like shredded chicken. So
what the heck?
I spent the whole summer relearning how to walk, all that stuff. I was on a 6 months hiatus from the high school where I teach my kids and stuff. Oh, I forgot to include that. I'm a veteran teacher now. They consider you a veteran after 10 years of teaching. I'm on year number 11. So I teach English and art, and I used to also teach strength and fitness. So kind of a jack of all trades at the high school.
Mm-hmm.
So once I had my legs, basically, for lack of a better term, reattached, I got into plied lifting and equipped gear. So now I compete in multiply and single ply. So I think the last 2 garage gym entries, I've done single ply both times, and then the years before that, I had done raw. So,
okay.
So yeah, you'll see me in all my frequent videos in briefs and suits and all kinds of stuff like that. So yeah, that was my latest garage gym entry with the 2,129 pound total.
Yeah, here, guys. I'll go
single ply.
ahead and transfer it over so you guys can see what we're seeing. Yeah, so this is his garage gym entry, which I think would be another great way to kind of introduce you to everybody, because you are incredibly strong. Like I don't know if you knew that you're really strong.
Held together by nuts and bolts now, but yeah, I'd like to try to still put my hat in the ring when I can.
All right, here we go. We'll do this, and boom. So 783, 606, and then was that 760? It went by quick fast.
783 on the squat.
783.
Shout out, quick shout out to our sponsors. I got sponsored by Victus Powerlifting this year, so he's also the vice president of the SBF. So he's providing like all my new monoliths and equipment you see me lifting in.
Oh, that's awesome! Congrats on the sponsorship.
Thank
That's not
you.
a
Yeah.
small expense either. A monolith, that's
No,
a
no,
big piece of
it's
equipment.
nice, Dave, and this is our new Invictus bench. A little high for me. I'm a little on the short side, short and stubby. So mats under my feet are gonna have to do the trick. I actually went back later and added. I think they're an inch. They're one and a quarter, and that kept my feet down a little more, just so I could touch more. But pretty much everyone at the gym's taller than me, so curse of being 5'5".
Yeah, but who's stronger?
But
That's what really matters.
the rack works out good for yeah, the rack works out for everybody else. So
Ooh!
Solid pull.
Wow!
yeah, see, and Diop behind me, literally a foot taller than me. So
Was that two? Oh, that's your weight, 224.
224.
yeah.
So that was 783, 606, and a 740.
Wow! Dude, that's so much weight. Oh my god.
So I'm looking to I'm doing a real sanctioned push pull meet in multiply in probably I think it's 5 weeks. It's like a week after we have a big meet at my gym. I usually try to compete before or after just because I'm really close to a deload then. So like if my training slows down because of how busy we are, it doesn't really affect it because all the heavy lifts are out of the way. So I'm gonna do a push pull in about 5 weeks, and then like January, February, I plan on doing the Arnold and doing the XPC because I got a qualifying total for my last RPS meet. So the Arnold is in a place I've competed before. I've done nationals, I've done Vegas, I've done all that. So going to Columbus and doing the Arnold is kind of like a thing I've really wanted to check off my bucket list for powerlifting.
Nice.
I know, Ben, you've competed at the Arnold, right?
Yeah, I won the Pro American a few years ago for the
Awesome, man.
USAPL and the IPF for those.
I will be I will be on the opposite side of that arena.
Yep,
I
on
will
the
be
other the
yeah
other segment, yeah.
the literally the complete opposite of you in gear and on gear for XPC.
Travis, did you start doing equipped lifting after the injury?
Yeah. So I started dabbling in just like light single ply briefs in sleeves, just kind of overloading my squat a little bit. And had a really good time. I really liked it. They weren't like crazy tight or anything, not like competitively tight. And then after that, I started getting more into. I think I had gotten to a bench shirt, like a single ply one, maybe once or twice, and then like the week after that, I tore both my quads.
I don't know if we could show it on Twitch, but is there a video of that happening? I'm just curious for me.
Okay, so I've actually had that question asked a lot. There was a video of it, a full one, but I actually got rid of it.
Probably
It
not
wasn't
the
something I was one of those people, like I've seen a lot of people upload their injuries and stuff, but I wanted to be remembered much more for the comeback than what actually happened.
100%.
I think
Yep.
that's very valid. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did have a question in the chat for you too.
Sure.
To Travis. Let me just. Did you find a significant difference in the sideways foot placement on bench versus a more straight like alignment with your foot and your knee, or is that something that's newer with the quad reattachment or?
Are you talking about the squat or the bench?
Talking about, I'm guessing the bench. It looked like you had a lot of external rotation of the foot.
Yeah, so when you dig up into your position in a bench shirt, obviously like you hear a lot of like I'm a bigger guy, but I'm not like your typical like I mean I don't want to use like stereotypes, but when you think like of equipped lifting, you think like big heavy set guys in suit like giant bench bellies like hoisting like their belly to the bar. And when I started imply, like I was really cut up. I was still competing at 198 instead of 220. So I mean, like even in a shirt, like I was walking around with like an 8-pack. So and all the guys I used to lift with who got me into equipped lifting were bigger guys. So they would always joke with me because like you all take your shirts off to get into your bench shirts and help each other because they're so tight. And they would all tease me and be like, "Bro, you need Breyer's ice cream right now because being shredded in a bench." You have no like belly to push out, so they're like being ripped in a shirt is not going to help you at all. So I had to totally relearn how to bench as far as like not only grip width on the bar, but learning how to belly up. And so I teach a lot of I coach pretty frequently. I have a big coaching team right now with my wife. We manage probably like 50 plus lifters right now.
Wow.
And so one of the cues I teach a lot of my lifters that are starting in single ply and multiply is to starfish, which is where you see that external rotation of the legs out. So once you dig up into your traps and place all that volume into your traps and your chest and crawl back into that setup, once you boost that belly and externally rotate out both arms and legs, it allows you to keep that arch. And actually, if you watch that bench video, the one you just did from the garage gym, you'll see me move towards the bar as it's approaching me about like in the last half inch. So I think it's a lot easier to actually initiate techniques like that when you're externally rotated harder.
Mhm.
So yeah, the foot placement helps with that. But yeah, just like learning, like if you scroll down a little bit. Yeah, click on just the bench video. Yep, right there.
Oh, cool. You split it up that way. By the way, love your art. I don't know if people
thank
talk
you.
about that a lot, but I really like the
Yeah. So like, see how I boost my stomach there and rotate my legs out, and then as it gets right to about where I'm touched, you'll see me move.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that spreading your feet like that helps me a lot. But yeah, I appreciate the art compliment, man. I'd love someday for that to be my full profession, but it's what I do in my summers off as a teacher right now. So I do all the meet banners, and you'll see like a lot of the artwork I'm posting with my kids and stuff. This is actually for a new project, the one you're looking at now, the horse and the cowboy, a new project for the WRPF that nobody's done yet before. So we're going to be the first people to guinea pig this new type of meat that we haven't really let out all the details about yet.
Yeah, I really like the artwork. I like the color scheme. I like the just like the general like feel of it. You know, like it feels
Thanks,
like nice. Like I want to throw this up in my gym and like show it off to people.
I
It's
appreciate
cool
that, man.
stuff.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So that being said, Mr. Ben, I say we move
Yes, sir.
on to our our first lift. That's going to be number 5 on the list.
Number 5. All right, this is Nathan, who Travis had introduced, and is working with him. Favorite cheat food, ice cream. Been lifting weights for 3 years, powerlifting seriously now for 2 months.
Whoa.
All 3 lifts were all-time PRs, completed on the same day, like a real meet. The first sanctioned meet in 19 weeks from time of posting.
So
190-pound body weight.
That graphic you just clicked on, the one with the iguana and the cowboy, that's our advertisement for the Texas First Timers meet, which we're giving away bars to all, like where all the registration and all the t-shirts are free for first time lifters. So Nathan is one of the first time lifters. So it's our first charity meet of the year.
What a
so,
great idea too. Giving away bars?
Yeah,
That's
no one's
perfect.
done it before. The only problem with Lifting Cast is it won't let you let people register for free. I even tried to do it for like a penny, and it won't let you do it. So the minimum amount you're gonna do is $1. So we made a joke, and I ate one of those giant Utz pretzel barrels, and we filled it with dollars. So when people come for their registration and weigh-ins, it's literally me walking around with a pretzel barrel, like handing their $1 back, so it's free.
There you go. I like that you got the entire barrel of pretzels out of that too. That's a win-win. I call that. We're looking here at a 380-pound squat, a 215 bench, and a 463 deadlift for a 1058 total for all these PBs. 2 months of real power lifting.
Insane. So let's see Nathan do this. Oh. Okay. Oh, it's edited.
Instant transmission into the position. Solid depth.
Wow, good
it.
fight. I love it.
And looks like another example of a taller lifter having to kind of overcome some of those leverages a little bit with that distance, but handling it really well, keeping the core tight.
Ooh. Oh, there we go. Nice. He's like, oh yeah, I gotta finish it.
Yeah, decided halfway up, like, oh, you know what, I could probably just lift this, and then just did. So
yes, deadlift ritual it. Let's go. Stalk the bar.
Yeah, he's gonna instant transmission. As soon as Joe said that, I'm like, he's gonna teleport to that barbell, Joseph.
Woo! Yeah,
And
he's
again,
a long lifter.
gets about halfway and he's like, "Oh yeah, this
Oh.
is easy. I forgot. Let me pick it up real fast."
Yeah, he's
I want to see this deadlift again.
I hope he sees this later, but man, he's like my pride and joy right now. I love that kid. He's
Aw.
awesome. So it's very like me and my wife don't have any kids, and so like me having an intern for the first time, even though he is older, he's 21, but like he calls me and Jess like powerlifting mom and dad, so it's pretty cool.
That's
That's
so
sweet.
wholesome.
We actually took him. Yeah, we did actually. We got SU to sign off on a field trip for him for his internship, and I took
Yeah.
him for all 3 days of the American Pro with me last weekend.
There you go.
So he
Dude.
got to be backstage with me, handling like all-time world record lifters and stuff, and like being in the group with all of us. And he's like, "You know these people? These are like my favorite Instagram lifters." And I'm like, "Yeah, dude. Like, we go way back." And he's like, "This is so cool."
You're like,
So
oh
he
yeah,
was- he was super
Ray.
tore up.
Yeah, he's super cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So we actually have some people here in chat. They're saying the artwork looks really good from Biff Tech, and then we have Minnie saying, "Hello, I'm a student. Can you take me next time?" Is there a place where people can buy your artwork?
Right now we do have like a online store, like a big cartel that runs all the charity artwork and stuff that I put up. Right now the store's down because I'm having a new release in about 3 weeks for me and my lifting partner's new company called Outlawed.
Outlawed. Okay. Well,
Yeah, so it's our travel company that has like the full setup in the trailer where we pull up to other gyms and host meets.
again, another great idea. Like, just again, making like lifting accessible. I think that's been the kind of general theme.
That
today,
has
right,
been
Ben?
the theme today. Yeah, people going and helping to introduce more individuals to the process of personal self-improvement via lifting, and then making it an accessible and enjoyable experience. So that's really cool.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, Ben. Next person, number 6. We're just gonna go down the list. Okay, 6, 7, 8.
Number 6. All right, we got Jose
When you say
Joseph.
number 6, what does that mean?
So
Oh,
he's
that's
got
purely for Ben.
that little the little thing that you're seeing on the screen. The stream
Uh-huh.
isn't seeing that right now. That's Joe's tracking the lifters. All the green are showing the lifters yet to be shown. The red are the ones who have
Oh,
either been
okay.
shown or we're not comfortable showing if they're like minors and we don't have a parent
Gotcha.
around.
I thought it was some ranking system I had missed out on. I'm
Oh,
like,
no,
this
no, no. This is
Oh.
it's the numbers purely are just because in a spreadsheet you have to have them in columns and rows, and so he's just telling
Gotcha.
me which.
Okay.
So this is Joseph. Loves
Oh,
cookies
one
and
of
milk
mine.
and has no bio. So 173 body weight, 581 squat, 340 bench, and a 565 deadlift.
Ooh, there was no bio
wondering if
on
that's-
him.
I can give you
I was
a
gonna say, it
bio
sounds like he's one of
briefly on Joe.
Travis's.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah,
hear it.
he's one of my guys I coach. He's on Team No Luck with Nathan. So Joe's actually the garage gym came out at a really good time for him because this was some of his heaviest lifts for prep right now. We're about 3 weeks out from Freaks Come Out at Night in Virginia, which is a big meet
That's a
he's
great
doing
name.
that I'm going. Yeah, it's a night meet. So I did it as my first meet back last year, and all the guys came and handled me. Thought it looked like an awesome meet, so now they're all doing it, and we switched places this year.
Oh, that's cool.
But Joe is also another extremely short individual like myself, so we're about the same mono height. Joe is incredibly strong for his, I mean, just incredibly strong, period. But for his weight class is absolutely incredible. He competes 165, and is squatting like close to 600 pounds. So he's
What?
pretty strong, dude. Yeah, he's very talented. I'm pretty rough on him coaching wise, just because I know he can take it, and he's also like he's an amazing athlete. I want to see him do something with it. He also prides himself on that mustache, man. It's a pretty good mustache.
It is a solid
Yeah.
mustache.
Yeah, he has the wax and everything. We tease him a lot about it. But he's an awesome guy, and he's extremely close with me and my wife. He's the kind of dude that would take his shirt off and give it to anybody. Like he's just a solid dude.
Awesome.
So
Okay,
I'm
let's
se-
take a look at his.
I'm
list.
seeing the knee wraps. Is this a singlet or is this a single ply suit? I'm guessing it's just the wraps.
No, this is it's raw with wraps. He just
Okay.
competes raw with wraps.
All
Oh,
right,
okay.
just making sure.
Yeah, it's a pair of 2-point Phantoms. I'm a big Pioneer fan.
I don't think I've used wraps in like 6 years now. It's
Mm-hmm. Whoa!
solid unrack.
Wow! Dude! Okay. Wait, don't cut like that.
Yeah,
I want to
so,
watch that again. That was awesome.
he
Joe,
told
you're
me-
you're
he
peaking.
told
You're
me right
peaking.
before- yeah, your excitement and the video is peaking at the same time. He told me right before he took this, he's like, I think I made my wraps a little too tight, and then you see
Yeah,
like that last
get
2
down
inches,
there.
he like gets it, they cinch up, and he has a struggle to get down to depth.
You just
Yeah.
see the knees start to shake. Like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
you're out of material, my friend.
Wow.
Yeah.
How much weight was that? Did we say?
Yeah, that was
581.
581
Wow. Amazing.
So his
at
his third
173
attempt
pounds
we're
right
looking,
there.
yeah, his third attempt we're looking to clean up in December is going to be a shot at 600.
Nice. Yeah. We got the bench here.
340 on this.
Yeah.
Really controlled touch.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty lift. Oh, the backwards hat adds at least 10 pounds. You can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah.
Oh,
knows
we're
that.
Absolutely.
hooking. And the very, very wide sumo stance here. You see that really commonly
Mhm.
too in like multiply lifting. So
Oops. I want to see that again. I'm always jealous of people that have this mobility. I can't on my sumo.
look at the almost upright torso here at the
Yeah.
start.
Yeah.
Very, very upright.
Yeah, no, he's a really great puller. One of the things we've been fighting a lot this this block and training cycle is learning how to fully pull the slack out of the bar. So you'll see him check it with his hands first, and sometimes what that leads to is like a double slack pull. So he'll bend the slack all the way out, but then when he drops his hips to reposition, it lets some of that slack back out. So it'll give a bar deviance, and it won't have him in the most upright position possible.
It'll pull you back out of it.
Definitely.
Exactly, like a rubber band.
I was just about to say that. You get that rubber band effect.
Yeah. I think for a lot of sumo pullers, that especially matters, not only for like reducing the ROM, but also, you know, many of them you'll see have balance issues at the top. Like you'll see a lot of them tumble backwards. And I think part of that is like the slack catching up to them at the top and throwing them off. So
Yeah,
I think it's definitely one of those important cues to learn before they go about it.
It tends to be the slack, plus when you have such an upright torso, usually one of the things that you are achieving that with is how much external rotation you have at the foot position there. So when you stand up at the top, there is a trade-off between having a more forward foot placement and a more externally rotated hip and foot placement, is that the more forward position, your hips are going to not be able to get as close to the bar because your knees would come forward with it. So you're not going to be as upright, but typically when you get to the top, the alignment of the bar is more perpendicular instead of as close to parallel, because you see up here the most of the plane, right, is the same. The bar is on the same plane as the feet, and if your feet are going forward, then balance is usually less of an issue. But with a wide sumo stance with a very externally rotated hip, you get to the top and it's kind of a trade-off for that hip position.
Because you can
So-
rock more. And that's why you see so many of them fall backwards, and also like I think it leads to a lot of overextension too, to like
For sure.
overcompensate for it.
Mm-hmm. Especially with deadlift bars that are a little bit more warbly versus a power bar.
That kabuki bar, man, it'll get you.
I remember pulling on those with the charity, the deadlift for Dornbecker that they had when it was still in the alpha version before they tuned in the knurling, and no bar ever felt as good action wise. That was the first bar I pulled 830 with, and it was it felt great, but it tore a quarter chunk out of my hands every single pull.
Oof.
Knurling was so aggressive on it.
Oh wow. But great lifts from Nathan. Really excited to see. You said he's got a competition coming up soon.
In December.
Nathan's in March, and then Joe you just watch is in December.
December. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say Nathan?
Yeah.
I was reading
You
his
said-
name. But yeah, Joseph. That's the Freaks at Night, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
They used to have this event that would come around October that was an evening deadlift only event, and it was called Night of the Living Deadlift.
Yeah,
every
there's a
year.
lot of gyms out west, like more towards Cali and stuff, that still do that and run it by the same name.
Yeah, I remember those. That's when I found out and met Tom Eisman, some of the guys that were, I guess, back. Because I used to lift in equipped stuff for, single ply, and I guess multiply was allowed, but I mostly stuck with single ply, and a lot of
What's
those
your
guys would
favorite
be nice.
single ply shirt?
Man, I haven't even done anything since the Rage X from Inzer and the Katana from Titan. Those are and I'm
Oh,
pretty sure those are both pretty outdated by now.
well, it's pretty popular still with super katanas, man.
Mm,
Yeah, I
yeah.
use right now. I use the super katana with If you've ever seen the Anderson powerlifting mods they do on them, where they do the KLA collars
Was it
and run them
the?
more across the shoulder.
Is that different from the scoop neck, or is that different naming convention?
It's
What's
kind of
the?
like a hybrid.
Okay.
If
Yeah.
you ranked them from like easiest to toughest, it would be like like a F6, a katana, a super katana, and then like a katana with a KLA mod.
Got it. So you're definitely touching is gonna be most of the battle there.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta know your groove, and it's gotta be on point.
Mm-hmm.
And just for everybody in chat, when you're referring to touching, you're referring to pulling the bar to your chest on bench.
Literally getting the
Yeah.
bar, because what's going to happen is you have imagine wearing a pair of too tight jeans backwards on your upper body, and you're trying to lower this bar down, and it wants to go towards your face or towards your beans, and so you're trying to get it to come down and touch it to your sternum or your basically your belly, without having your elbow flare one way or the other and dump the bar.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's being referred to as tough to touch or trying to make it touch. It's
Yeah. Okay, cool. So Ben, we'll continue down the list here for number
Yes, sir.
7.
Um,
If you'd like to give a little bio on this guy.
This is Chuck from Kentucky. Loves pizza. A strength coach, previous strongman competitor. After a car accident, got sober and switched to powerlifting. You
Oh,
sober
that's
up
a
from
great story.
strongman. There you go. Yeah. Elite total and records in every meet his first year. Looking to improve, moving forward to help others learn the sport. And we're looking at 200-pound roundabouts, 202. 615 squat, 330 bench, 495 deadlift. So
Whoa. All right,
probably
let's
a
take a
bit
look
of
at
a
the squats.
probably a bit of a learning curve swapping to powerlifting style deadlifting after strongman. We have a 605 snuffy face, whatever that emote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put
Look at his
Moco
calf
away.
veins.
Oh,
Sheesh.
hey, get out of the way.
Those are the Titan Gold signatures. Those are what I used to have.
Ooh, wait, I wanna watch this again.
Yeah, looking like a little shaky on the walkout, and you see that bar kind of like floating forward and back there on him. Really tough to stabilize, but good he has the safeties in place just in case.
Mm-hmm.
Are those tennis shoes? My guy. Oh man.
Yeah, they
Get
look
this
like,
man.
Yeah.
and they're
Get this
untied tennis
man.
shoes.
Get this. Yeah. Get this man some more. No wonder the instability looks there. The shoes are warping. You look at his heel and it's kind of
Yeah.
shifting around in it.
Yeah, if you guys have never done a heavy squat in tennis shoes, it is absolutely terrible. It's like you're standing on like marshmallows and you're trying to balance
Yeah,
your
they
foot and
give.
try to push through. It is
Really.
borderline
Yeah.
impossible.
All the energy that you're trying to put into the bar is kind of dissipating from the floor. It's you're pushing as hard as you can, but all that energy is kind of getting softened and dampened, and so it's not able to go into the kinetic force that you want to push the barbell back up.
Yeah.
When I was raw with wraps, I liked doing lifters. Like I would use like Romaleos. But once I got back from surgery and had to adjust my squat stance and go a little bit wider. I'm still not a super wide squatter, but a little bit wider. I'm a big like Converse Vans style guy. But I actually found a company called Woobies, and they're like military owned. And
Sorry, what
it's
was
like
the name?
military Woobies, WOOBIES, and they're actually like military grade Converse.
Of course, there's a market for that. That's
That's
awesome.
kind of fun.
Yeah.
They're kind of like assault shoes, man. That's what you see me squatting in all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they hold up good. I mean, and they're not more than a lifter would be. I think they're like $120. But I mean, most of the lifters now are like 200 plus.
Oh yeah. Like I think I got these power lifts. I got them on sale for like $90, and even then I was like, oh my god, this is so expensive. This is for a pair of shoes that I'm only gonna
Yeah.
squat in.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, if you want to talk
yeah,
about
specialty equipment, man.
expensive powerlifting, man, say Ben will
Mul-
tell you once you get into equipment, man.
Oh yeah.
Multiply
Shit.
lifting, yeah.
I've
that's-
seen the
Yeah.
prices. Yeah. Okay, so we got his 615 squat. I thought this was the first video. I thought it was his main post. That was just his warm up. So this is his final post
Yeah.
for the squat portion of the Garage Gym competition.
So we got
Okay, I'm interested
well,
to
we
see
got
how
a little
this goes.
opener ish.
Yeah, yeah, opener ish.
Have the real deal.
And did he have the wraps on? I don't know
Yeah,
if I
he
saw that
did.
last time. Oh, he did.
Yeah, yeah. The first one he did.
Those are the Titan Gold signature wraps, and this you can see how crazy his calf veins are going with them.
Ooh.
A little bit rough coming out of the rack with it. Big stabilizing there.
Mm-hmm.
I once dumped a 600-pound squat over my head because I couldn't get it to stop shaking back in college. Wow. Okay,
Oop, oop, oop.
back in.
Where's the
Shoot.
There we
spotter?
go.
There he is.
Oh.
Yes.
Man, he was super late to the party.
He's like, that was just confidence. He knew he was gonna hit that.
I was just Ivan Drago saying, if he dies, he dies. Come on, Dolph, get over there.
Um,
Do you guys have any recommendations other than the shoe, right? Changing the shoe for how to like better stabilize this.
I mean,
I think he needs to settle it more once he picks, and then concentrate on like. He doesn't have necessarily a wide stance squat, so I would do like the old 1-2 and then settle because it looks like he's taking almost 4 steps back. Like it looks like one more and he'd be clear of the safeties too.
mm-hmm. He's
So,
definitely yeah, a lot of backwards movement there.
yeah. You see him take instead of settling and switching out, he takes another big step. Yeah,
Mhm.
that looks like it's barely going to clear safeties if he has to drop it.
Honestly, in a situation
Yeah.
like this, I'd probably like to see how he handles a lighter loading, because right now it does kind of seem a little bit survival mode of like
Yeah,
I'm doing
I
everything
agree.
I can to keep it together here and get there. And like if he's looking to do like a, like in-person competitions, like the depth is probably going to need to be like reined in
Yeah, I
pretty
would
significantly
say-
depending on the Fed.
Would you? And I think you're probably a really good person to commentate on this too, Ben, because I assumed like especially with what Fed you competed, you guys were pretty much exclusively Titan brand products, right?
You could do for USAPL IPF that it would have to be, it would have to be covered by some, like I did what is it called, classic raw, so no
yeah.
sleeve or sleeves, wrist wraps, but no wraps. When I'd done wrapped stuff before, it was like SPF and a few of those types of things.
Did you use Titan Golds?
Titan Gold Signature was probably the last wrap that I used in like 2000.
Would you say you think those are
13.
maybe a little advanced of a wrap? Kind of
probably
go out of the gate with.
From what they were pretty rough to kind of dial in, and if you're feeling unstable, if you're having a hard time taking those steps, and it looked like he was a little bit,
Might be a little much.
yeah, a lighter wrap is going to give you a little bit better of an opportunity to like kind of explore that depth, and
Interesting.
I would probably recommend in that kind of a case, like I'd like to see that lifter doing 500 and see what it looks like and how in control and stable they feel, because when you're doing
I
stuff
definitely
like
agree.
when you're doing stuff with equipment, even if it's like just knee reps, and then if you were to add a suit or you're adding any of that stuff, you're getting progressively further away from what you're able to just kind of do on your own. And there's more that is the tech with the gear where you're really having to lean into allowing the equipment to work and help support you, because you're lifting more. Like some people might come at equip lifting thinking to themselves, oh, that's you're not lifting more, the equipment is lifting more. And so you don't actually have to get that strong, but it's the technical proficiency needed to do an equipped lift well is a lot tighter because you cannot muscle through it, because if you get a little bit out of position, the weight is too far above what you'd be able to bring back and course correct. Like if you're a
Interesting.
little bit forward with a raw squat, it's going to be around what you're used to stabilizing. If you're a
Yeah.
little bit forward with a squat with wraps on, where those are helping you a lot, or with a suit on where that's helping you a lot, you get a little bit forward, your spinal erectors are done. You cannot recover
Yeah.
from it. It's almost impossible.
Same thing with like staying in a bench pocket too, man. Like when you're out of that groove, it's over. Like
Mhm.
it's done. You go from hey, I think I got this to your skull crushing 600 plus pounds, and like all your boys got to come grab it off of you. Like
Yeah.
it's and things go
Yeah.
wrong fast in equipment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Uh,
Imagine
I think one
imagine
of
trying
the
to go ahead. Go ahead.
I think one of the best ways to explain it when I first switched, because like everyone knew me as a raw lifter, um, would be like relearning how to be strong, but being strong in a really tiny box. So it's
Interesting.
like you're only able to showcase how strong you are if you have the skill level in the equipment to match it.
Mhm.
So like a very common thing you'll see at meets, and I'm sure Ben can vouch for this too, is you'll see guys bomb out on squats, bomb out on bench all the time in equipment because they see like I would compare it to obviously a more severe version of like the younger generation of lifters being like, ooh, the new Inzer knee sleeves, ooh, the SBD, ooh, they see a name, a flashy thing, they gotta have it. It's the same way, just way more expensive in geared lifting too. They'll see like, oh, this new gray line triple ply overkill. I need that shirt. I'm gonna bench this X amount in this shirt, and they'll buy shirts and suits that are the tightness is insane, and B, the material is way too aggressive for their skill level to accommodate to it. So you'll commonly see guys like buy new equipment, and then if you go on Facebook Marketplace, dude, brand new, beautiful suits and shirts going for sale right away, and like
Wow.
common captions on them be like, a little too much shirt for me, never touched before, like you know what I mean? Like they go for sale quick because guys want the new stuff but haven't built that skill or spent time enough in those things to properly learn them.
Yeah.
This is a very eye-opening conversation for me as someone who's
Yeah.
has zero experience with equipped lifting. I think I may have used knee wraps once as like a 16-year-old weightlifter. Um, it's really interesting how you guys are breaking it down, and I think people in chat, might be at my similar skill level with equipped. Um, I find this incredibly exciting. Like, almost want to hear your thoughts on different types of like lifting equipment, different suits, different belts. Wrist wraps, elbow wraps, knee wraps, maybe even an ankle wrap. Who knows?
I like to think about it like the goal is the same. So imagine a parallel that can maybe try to put it in a perspective is like if you were to try and run around a track as fast as you could, like that's the goal, is to get around the track one time.
Hmm.
And raw lifting is like it's just you. You put on your shoes, you run around the track. And then putting on like various amounts of equipment is like, okay, now I'm gonna go around the track, but riding a bike.
Mm.
And now I'm gonna go around the track, but driving a Formula One race car. And so it's like the goal is the same: get around the track. But you can go a lot faster in a race car. But if you don't know how to control that thing, you're not gonna make the first turn. And if you come
That's a great
around, you pick
analogy
up a
for it.
bunch of
Yeah.
speed on the last thing, you're like going way, way, way faster. There's way more carrying capacity, but you're gonna fall. You're gonna hit it hard and go off in the bushes and never actually finish the race. So that's
Yeah.
that's how I like to think about it.
I
Awesome.
think that's a really good way to explain it, Ben. And I think one of the things too is like one of the most stereotypes, misconceptions, especially you get a lot of lifters hating on like shirts and stuff. They're like, "Oh, well, you don't really bench that weight. You're wearing a
Hmm.
slingshot." And dude, I promise you, an actual like properly fitting bench shirt is nothing like wearing a slingshot,
Hmm.
like at all, even remotely close. Like, um, as much as like the suits and the shirts help you and push the weight. It also can do the opposite when you're misgrooved. So, hey man, if you're dialed in and you have that groove of the shirt, and when you hear people talking about grooves in a shirt or grooves in a suit, it's following material's path of most resistance. So it's like for lack of a better way to explain it, is when it's the most uncomfortable and you're fighting it, it means you're doing a good job. So it's like when you feel the tension, you're like, oh my god, this is cutting my arms off. You know you're in the groove of the shirt because the shirt's
Perfect.
doing more and more work.
Yep.
You're like, oh, this is literally tearing into my triceps. This is great. So
Mhm.
like,
All
if
of
you
all
ride
of
that
that
groove,
tension.
it's all about patience. It's all about like it's endurance. It's commitment to the shirt. Like you gotta know the equipment's gotta work, but you gotta have the balls to use it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
So
definitely thriving in those uncomfortable situations.
yeah, and I'll say one more thing before we move on, just because I don't want to hold up the videos too much. But I did a table talk for Elite FTS with Dave Tate,
Mhm.
probably last year, and that was actually like a month after I ruptured my tricep. I actually had elbow surgery. Um, I blew out my ulnar and like my distal triceps insertion, and it got a whole new elbow. I had 4 pins and a wire put in.
Yeesh.
Whoa.
So yeah, I'm pretty much like a robotic man right now. I'm up to 10 pins right now. Um, so when I did the table talk with Dave Tate, it was cool because you got to hear his perspective on gear, and we talked about a lot of different topics. But one of the craziest things, and I think a lot of new generation raw lifters don't know this, is that when powerlifting became popular and competitions really started, like equipped lifting was it. There wasn't raw didn't really blow up until like really like the 2000s. I mean, before
Mhm.
yes, but like it started gaining popularity in like the 2000s. But one of the big things was Dave was like, when Raw first came out, it was the total opposite stereotype of what it is now. Meaning, Raw guys were teased and made fun of by the equip lifters because they were like, "Oh, you don't have the balls to get in a suit and move that kind of weight. You're
Oh,
a you're you know
funny.
you're a bitch. You can't handle it." And nowadays it's the opposite. It's like the raw lifters look at the gear guys and they're like, "The only reason you do that is because in your shirt you're afraid to go raw." So it's like the complete flip of everything. And I thought that was the most wild thing I'd ever heard. Like, of course, I knew when Equip came out when it got popular, but I never thought about like how those timelines, like far lefts and or far rights, have just totally flip flopped in like the last like 25 years.
Yeah, I always think
It's
of it
really
as a
wild.
it's a pendulum too, because what's the thing that's happening now in raw lifting is the technology that's going into things like the belts, the knee sleeves. Like back when raw lifting just had the sleeves, that used to mean blue Ray-Ban knee sleeves that did
Yeah.
nothing except for keep your knees warm. And
Mhm.
now you
Or wraps
have
that look
the
like they were made out of toilet paper.
yeah, and now you're having the then SBD came out with their way more supportive material, and then Inzer's like, well, okay, well we got these crazy stiff sleeves, and now it's like an arms race of all the raw products starting to resemble more and more gear. Oh, the singlet is double stitched with an extra seam in this thing to help provide a little bit more spring out of the bottom. You know, like a shitty squat suit, which
Yeah,
100% is like
I love it.
that's kind of the direction. So it's interesting to see how the turntables, my friends. I remember in
So
high
like,
school looking at the Leviathan suit in for Inzer, and I'm like, this is what powerlifting is. Is like I need to be in a Leviathan.
yeah, yeah.
All
I'm
right.
a huge fan. I'm not as big fan of the canvas, but I love the LUPs. I love the lace ups, the corset deals. Those are
Oh
my jams
goodness,
right now.
I
But
think they just look funny, but it's just because
dude, are you? I
you have
just
all of the
did.
strings. You look like you got tassels on your armpits.
I know it's
It's
amazing. I
great.
love it. Hey, I'm a big like I was a Lego kid growing up. I was
Yeah.
like Legos and robots growing up. So
Mhm.
customization was like when I learned you could do custom mods and everything else to your suits. I'm like, bro, this combines childhood with my favorite sport. I was like, this is it for me, man.
You got character creation in real life. This is great.
Yeah, seriously. All right, let's watch
so-
this bench video.
Yeah, let's watch the bench. He's probably like, why are you guys watching it? We got 330 pounds here on the bench. There we go. Ah, perfect.
Looks like he's got some forearm tendonitis. Because he
Yeah,
keeps
with
it
the-
keeps
with
it
the cuff
below
on
the
there.
elbow.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Dicey.
Pretty
He's
smooth
just-
stroke on that, yeah.
Wow,
So one of
he
the-
really
one of the
controlled it on the
things
way
too-
down.
Yeah, it's super smooth. He punches it straight though. I would like if I had to argue like things I would change about this bench is like you see his bar path is punch straight versus guiding slightly back of the rack.
Mm, yeah.
So if he had a little more back of the rack, he probably could have got it a little bit smoother.
Also, why isn't this rack bolted down? Why does it move when he racks it?
Probably
I don't know, but that's a sweet looking bench. That's a nice bench, man.
could get pulled into a competition type of thing. A lot of the places you're gonna go, Joe, you're not gonna want the rack. You're not gonna want it to be bolted if you need to move it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Look at that's
So,
scary. That's a big
yeah.
move.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't hop out of the J.
I think this is a pretty solid bench, man.
Oh yeah,
Especially
definitely.
for this competition, yeah.
looks similar
I
to
would
the
I would
old.
I would white like that.
Looks
And then
pretty
we have
similar
his,
to the old
deadlift.
Forza benches they used to have. Okay, we got a chub plate, and this was the 5.
But a 45
100 pound?
bumper on the inside.
Or is it a 45? I can't see.
No,
It
it's
loo-
gonna
it
be a
looks like-
45. This should be
Yeah, it's a-
495 here.
Polyurethane 45.
Cool.
So we got a bumper on the inside, and then the little anti-roll mat there. You got a little segment of like horse stall or mat to keep it from rolling too
So
far.
it's technically a rack
Ooh.
pull. No, I'm just kidding.
You say technically it's a rack pull?
Got him.
he got that. He got that. As the guy in gear over here, I'm saying, whoa. He got
Yeah,
like a
yeah, block
half-inch
pull.
advantage over there. Okay, this must be true.
Take him away, officer. Take him away.
It doesn't count. Yeah, and he decided to forego the shoes on this one too. Very
It
like
doesn't
Yeah,
strong
which
matter
is
as
shoes.
always
much on
scary on a
conventional.
wood platform. It was always scary for me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
On if it was sumo where your feet are like wanting to slide around, it's a little more sketchy, but usually if your feet are directly under you conventional, it's minimal risk relatively speaking.
I would
But you-
say for a garage gym lift, he's got it, but you could see he was about to drop it. Like I think if we had to wait for a down commanding,
Oh,
count,
yeah,
we would've
shoulders
lost
are-
it.
shoulders
Yeah,
are a little
look at
forward
the thumb.
there.
The thumb's open already.
Yeah, this is
Definitely
always a
solid
scary
effort, man.
moment where you're like, call it, please.
I'm
Yeah.
a monkey, please don't. Yep.
Yeah. Wow, good lifts though from him.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
he's
for sure.
transitioning
And
from
awesome
strongman to
story.
powerlifting.
Coming from strongman and then also sobering up and trying to help others in the sport. Really cool stuff. We have Yu.
Oh, do you know this person, Ben?
I do. This is Yang Sung Ren. This is Yu Ren, the deadlift panda.
Did he do all three this year? Or is it just the deadlift?
Don't know.
I don't know
I guess
either.
we will find out.
There we
But
go.
Yu is a really awesome guy. Just in general, he is a scientist by trade. Here, I'll go find his thing. Loves Chinese hand-pulled beef noodles is the go-to.
Ooh,
But I will
okay.
say, if you follow his Instagram, you're gonna get a lot of food pictures and stuff that I approve of. I know he's a hot sauce enthusiast too. Scientist by day, deadlift specialist by night. Love nerding out about biomechanics of the deadlift and making informative posts to help everyone become the best deadlifter possible. So solid competitor, genuinely awesome guy to hang out and talk to. I remember he was at least the former 181 like world record holder for the deadlift in the USAPL. I don't know if he got the IPF like official one because where you do those competitions is really particular about getting those things. 190 pound body weight. We're gonna 555 squat, 395 bench, and an 820 pull.
Yeah, something
So,
is not like the others on that one.
well, I mean, those are
Yeah.
not little weights
Yeah.
at all either. So,
And Ben, I would like to point out something too. This guy is, he helped me out quite a bit with my deadlift, my sumo dead. Look what he has here. Do you see this?
hey, nobody's perfect, okay?
So Travis, Ben here, he's not a big fan of deadlift jacks. So we always like to kind of poke fun at him.
Wait, seriously?
Uh, I always think that it's usually a big waste of money for a home gym. I will say, if you're an equip lifter, bending over to pick up the weights is already in and of itself going to be a tough time in between. But Joe has no excuse.
What? wait till I get up to an 800-pound deadlift. Then we'll have this
Now,
conversation
if you're
again.
wearing a
He-
you're wearing a giant a deadlift suit that's keeping you from being able to bend over, then I could be like, yeah, that makes sense. But if you're an unequipped lifter, just take the weight off the bar, you big baby.
So guys, his deadlift form is phenomenal. Always like watching it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that.
I just, yeah. Phew.
Whoa.
I just see him on King of the Lifts all the time.
So a
Oh,
long,
full power, yeah.
Oh,
That's
here.
what I'm talking about. I haven't seen him do full power in forever.
I think Joe kicked back there. When COVID first hit and the lockdown first happened, Yu used to do what he called neighbor-friendly eccentrics because he was lifting not in a garage at the time. He was lifting in a room.
Oh,
And
I
a lot of-
remember this.
A lot of structural housing, you have like a crawl space underneath, or you have like if you're on a different story or something, you have people below you. And so he would put the weight down with so much control. So you're looking at like 700 to 800 pound deadlifts on a relatively regular basis. And he'd get to the top and then slowly lower it back down to the ground so that he didn't disturb the people living around him.
That 5-second eccentric movement.
Like crazy, yeah, crazy negative on it.
Nice. It's always so nice to watch him deadlift.
Yeah.
We got the bench here.
820 doesn't normally move that well for most people, by the way. That's not a weight you see moved like that.
Yeah, I'll tell you how it moves for me.
Mine's
Not at all.
non-existent.
Yeah, mine it's not either.
Ooh.
Shoo, what a grind.
That's actually the first time I've seen him squat.
He used to put. I think that people just didn't watch the squat and bench videos as much. But for a long time, he was posting regularly all of his lifts. A lot of his stuff is he's leaned into the specialization of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna help people figure out. He also has a really, really immaculate conventional pull as well. He pulls, 800 with both stances, which is very uncommon.
Wow, this really sticks with it too.
His posters are cool. They're not as cool as mine though. Just saying.
I like that he's getting his chalk out of a magic carp. That's fun.
Yeah, he's got the One Piece poster, One Piece flag here. Really into One Piece.
Anime in general. I think he used to watch anime episodes mid-workout in some of his posts. Good dude.
Yeah,
We
solid
like him.
lift.
It's
great
solid
post.
pull, yeah.
All right, Ben. I think we have time for one more.
If you say so, sir. Where am I going?
You are going number 36. If you would like to read that out.
36. Specific commentator. I'm like, we already looked at Travis's stuff. Matthew from New York. Blue cheese chicken pizza. Another pizza aficionado, but specific. Equipped powerlifter, training 2/3 of the time at home in my basement to be with my family, 1/3 of the time at my friend's barn when putting on multiply gear for safety. Help with the gear and coaching from my training partners. 242.
Oh, he's got the OK. I saw that OK suit, man.
We got a
I'm trying to find
242.
his submission.
242 body weight, 745 pound squat here, 405 bench, and a 635 deadlift. If you gave me no other information and showed me those numbers, I will tell you that I think that this is gonna be an equipped lifter.
So I'm actually not finding his garage gym competition post. Oh wait, never mind. I lied. I just
There
gotta
it
keep
is. There
going.
it is.
Found it. It's the one I'm
Oh,
clicked on
Lord.
right now.
Oh, that. I'm jealous. So that looks like a 2-ply black line, the new ones. Or no, that's the old one. It's got the old logo on it. It's a nice suit.
Oh, okay.
Overkill suit. He's got a box on there with a foam pad. So it's one of those things. I think that's more for depth check than a full unload on the bottom for whatever box squat's
Yeah.
about to occur.
I've never seen this unrack before.
This is a monolith. So
No,
he's gonna
I think
stand
he's
up.
talking about the reverse bands.
Yeah, the reverse bends. Oh, I didn't see the monolith. I thought this was gonna detach somehow.
No, it's the monolith. Yeah. So he's
Yeah, I
got
didn't see this
bands
guy.
attached to it so that they're helping more at the bottom of the lift.
Mm.
Right? So you're lowering yourself down into that position. But when he stands up, the hooks are going to move away because you got a buddy over on the side who is operating the monolith.
Yeah, I didn't see the thin handle here of the monolith. I thought these guys here, the bands, would open up somehow.
Yeah,
We're
that would
holding
be
it.
that would be very interesting. How are you getting that thing back there? You either lift or you die.
This is really hard to tell. I would say that for me, from the front angle, I mean, I know it's frowned upon to judge depth from the front, but it looks pretty high to me.
Oh yeah, we basically just kind of accept that a lot of things are gonna the depth variance here for our purposes is we'll trust that people are training for how they're training, but per the guidelines of it, it's like did they try to squat? It's a squat.
Yep. And he
Yeah,
hit
I would
the depth, the little foam that he set up.
Well, he definitely kissed it with his beans. So it's one of those things like geared stuff is really rough to get all the way down there. Just like riding that groove with the bench shirt, you're fighting against the. If you were to relax and get as low as you possibly could, your torso would collapse and the bar would chop your head off. So it's definitely
Really do or die, huh?
Well, it's really like you're trying to get as low as you can, but the whole time everything is telling you this is as low as you possibly want to go. Any further is going to hurt more. And so you have to kind of embrace that discomfort and just keep fighting to get down. Usually you can't. Like sometimes, Joe, you ever do a squat and you're like, I don't know if that was low enough.
Oh, all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, imagine if as soon as you bent your knees, that feeling was happening. Like this is low enough, as low as I can go. I can't go any lower, and that's kind of what squatting in a suit's like. It's like I don't want to go any further than this.
I gotta give it up for you, Ben. You're pretty spot on with explaining a lot of this. I enjoy listening to you, man.
Oh,
Yes, guys, exactly. Please go follow Ben Rice on Twitch. He talks like this all the time. This is why he's here. This is the whole reason. He's very strong, he's intelligent, and he's also my friend. But that's the whole reason why he's here. Had to sneak that one in. You guys know I'm friends with Ben.
We are friends. That is true.
All right, so we got a bench here. Ben, what's the quick math here? 65, 85, 95?
I think you got it, Joe. I think that if there was another 10 on there, then he would just have a fourth plate. So
Yeah.
which I'm
What
guessing
are we doing to a one board?
we're probably gonna see more then because it says it's listed at 405 here.
Okay, so maybe this is his last warm up to a board.
Could be a 55-pound bar.
It is. It's an F8 bar.
Well, there you go. In that case, then it is the 405 then.
Yeah, 405 to a 1.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
and he's using that belt to keep the shirt in, like you were talking about earlier.
the belt, yeah. I was convinced for a long time that only equipped lifters would ever use it because it's what locks the shirt in. You're gonna beforehand they pull it down for you, and then you secure it with the belt. And so when I saw raw lifters doing it, I'm like, you think you're in a shirt and you're just not. But
I think it's a mental cue for a lot of raw lifters if they wear a belt.
almost.
Yeah, we talked about it being used as like a tactile cue. We're like, okay, now I gotta like brace against something.
Right, exactly. Yeah, because technically raw, like it's not doing much, but you know what I mean. I think it's more of it's like a security blanket, and it helps you like focus mentally. Like, okay, if I can feel myself bracing against all sides of the belt, I know I'm in the best position.
Yeah. But really good stuff, and I like that he has the whole family involved too.
You got to. Equipped lifting is not something you typically do by yourself. You need a crew for it because getting the shirt on, right, getting the shirt off, Being able this is one of those situations where if you're doing high level equip stuff, you can't run the monolift yourself. You can't unrack the bench by yourself. Like, you need people there that are regular training partners that you can trust, that are going to know how the stuff works. They can help you get it set, they can help you do it correctly, and then that's one of the things that I think had raw lifting become so popular, is because there are quite a few barriers to entry for equip lifting, not just the prohibitive cost, but also the necessity of it being something where you have kind of that community of other people that know what's going on, know how the shirt works, know how the suit works, know a lot of like the training itself is going to be using accommodating resistance like bands or chains to do things to try and mimic the groove of that equipment, so that you're not surprised even when you're training raw. You're trying to like train it within the parameters of what's going to help the most in that gear. So it's very different, but it is a group activity more often than not.
So Travis, when you're training for these equipped competitions, is every training session equipped, or is this like a special thing where it's like, okay, we're gonna do it once a week, so we have the entire team with us?
Usually when we're running like blocks and stuff, and you're doing your like I run conjugate now. When I was raw and raw with wraps, I would run more linear progressions with bodybuilding
Mm-hmm.
involved in it too. But now I kind of run like a mix of bodybuilding with conjugate, just because I kind of grew up more training bodybuilding, and I like to look like I lift, so I tend to like do bodybuilding pretty frequently. Um, I'm usually just in briefs, like for deadlifts and lower days. I'm in briefs and knee sleeves,
Mm-hmm.
but I won't wear like the full get up. I usually only do full get ups when I'm like in peak.
Oh, okay.
So like you won't see me wear like knee wraps and a suit. Um, Sometimes if we're testing like something like sub maximal, you'll see me do like a suit with the top down. Like I won't add the straps to see how much I can get like out of it without adding that extra attention.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I'm mostly in single ply briefs, which if you're in single ply briefs, it's the same essentially as having a suit with a top down.
Okay.
Because multiply is where you're going to get the additional layers, where you're going to wear like 2 to 3 ply briefs plus the layered suit. Like then you're getting a lot more out of the equipment versus like a pair of like Centurion briefs. Even if they're like high cut, so you get more in the abdominal region and can pressure against it.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it's like wearing boxers made out of sandpaper. It's really not doing them much. It's
You're
giving
not
you like a
selling this
friendly hip.
properly.
Yeah,
And don't get it in your head that it's gonna be a fun time. You're not
yeah. It's
enjoying this.
you gotta like to you gotta. I mean, powerlifting has a great deal of like suffering in it anyway. But like if
Mm-hmm.
you really are about it, then you can give gear a try. Like if you, I think single ply is like cuts and burns. Multiply is like somebody pouring cement into a suit and you slowly suffocating to death.
Dude, that sounds
So
horrible.
yeah, so like that's the best way to explain the difference.
I wish I could disagree. Yep, that's pretty much.
Yeah,
All
It's
like
right.
your sessions are
single
gonna
ply
take.
will give you like the worst rug burn and like will make you bleed, and then the other one's like it's like just someone punching you in the stomach like as hard as they can the whole time.
Yeah,
So
your
like
sessions will take
if
longer.
you
You
want to,
need other people there to
yeah,
help you with your stuff. You're
And you're
not
getting
gonna
punched in
have.
the
If you
stomach.
have to pee, sucks to suck, I
yeah,
guess.
You
forget
just pee
forget
your
about
pants.
peeing, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
All
Just
right, we
yeah,
got our
dump
last
enough
lift here.
ammonia around your body that you can cover up the scent, my friend,
yeah.
because you are
So what
not.
is this? Is reverse bands in a rack, and it looks like off of 1 inch blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 inch or 2 inch. There's two blocks there, so
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Good fight. Good
Yeah.
hold too.
I always thought like the suits would be tighter to the skin. It looks like there's a little bit of like breathing room here. Like
that's
like a little too
depending
big.
That's
on the
also
depending on the
super.
layers. Yeah, go ahead.
It's super dependent on like your style of deadlifting too, because one of the
Mm.
biggest challenges with deadlifting is getting down to the bar. So like if you crank straps, you got to also be able to know how to get down to the bar and adjust to the technique and know how to fight it to the floor, without of course passing out.
Yeah, the not passing
That's
out
that's
seems to
pretty
be
frequent
important.
too. No, it's actually, it sounds easy. It's totally not. You passing out is in your near future if you're gonna try it.
Yeah,
Oh my
because you
goodness.
can hyperventilate and pass out even without
Yeah.
without the extra suit. If you're creating enough intra-abdominal pressure and tension
Mhm.
as you're getting down there, even without it, you can get a little
Yeah.
the Tyler One special. I'm light-headed, but when you have a
Mhm.
suit, it's like it's not even up to you anymore. Your blood pressure is gonna spike. All of that, your air is being forced out, and it's just God, Joe, man, I think it would be so funny if I lent you one of my deadlift suits someday and
God, can we please do this? Can we
just
please do
shove
that
you
and put a
into it.
picture or something?
It would be so funny. You would probably fall over the first time. It's the
We
I
need a video compilation of whiffing in a deadlift suit where people try to grab the bar and they can't get down to it, and so it's
Mhm.
just a bunch of hands going like this, like an inch away, and then them like leaning against the wall to try not to pass out. It's
Yeah.
so good, man.
Yeah, the
Oh.
Lift Together 2020 was we did a charity incentive and it was like the day after I did a 800-pound pull in a inflatable sumo outfit, like unplanned. And then the next
Mhm.
day I did what was it? I want to say it was an 1,800-pound total in under a minute. So like I squatted 635, benched 385, and deadlifted 750, just back to back in under a minute. And then later that night,
Oh my
someone had
goodness.
donated to get me to try and deadlift in a suit. And so I brought a deadlift suit, and I wedged myself into it first time in like probably 6 years that I'd pulled in a suit. And Joe Capolino actually lied to me. He's like, because we were going up, and he's using the kilo plates, and I'm like, I'm having a hard time like staying conscious. I'm pretty beat up right now. What's on there? He's like, it's like 760 or something, and it was 820, I think. And I went down. And I'm like, that's not 760, Joe. But yeah,
I
it was.
Ben, is your Instagram Ben Rice PLG?
Yep.
That's you? Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, Ben's a strong boy, and again, Travis, if you haven't explored the Twitch realm at all, um, Ben is kind of the ipso facto strongest guy on Twitch, and I'll say it, Ben. You don't even gotta say anything. So it's really cool to kind of watch his like training day in day out, and he's obviously super intelligent. So it's really cool to hear him explain like these complex topics.
I haven't really gotten to talk much about lifting stuff. I've been doing so much gaming recently. It's almost been all gaming most of the time. My training's been going so fast ever since we finished the hundo.
Hmm.
I
Well,
just followed you on Instagram.
Be
I
Instagram
was
buddies,
jealous. I
Travis.
was jealous of Joe. He's like, we're friends. I'm like, damn, man, I want to be Ben's friend.
yeah, it's a nice privilege, and honestly, once he added me on Instagram, my squat, my deadlift all went up by 50 pounds. It was great.
Nice. I you know what? I will take that. That'll put me into that 800 barrier.
Yeah.
Ben, what's your other lifts?
So my best comp totals or my best comp lifts for raw were let me see, a 712 squat in just sleeves, a 402 bench at the Arnold that year, where this is gonna sound so egotistical, where I was the first
Say it, man.
guy to beat Ray Williams.
Yep.
Because, and I will add the addendum, because they changed the formula and stopped using Wilks and
Is this
started using
yeah?
IPF.
Is this okay? Yeah, I remember they switched that.
Yeah, they switched
and
it.
then-
No, I was the first person to benefit from that, because it
What a
really
man!
it really
What a
and
man.
I think technically the 793 that I pulled at the Arnold that year was the highest one that I have on record. I've gone on and done 800 at like charity events, unofficially
What weight
800 on the
class?
deadlift bar and stuff. That was all at 231. I'm around 220 right now. I do not tend
Dude,
to
that's
look
solid,
like I
man.
lift
What is that
nearly
like
as
a?
much.
You're in the 1800s at 220 natty.
Yeah. So
He's strong, I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, I wasn't knocking it. I was just like, okay, like, well, once he said the deadlift, I was like, you pulled what?
yeah, I've so for the last couple of years, I was prepping for this thing called the Hundo, which is a challenge that I made
Yes.
up for myself, and it's really, really dumb. But basically, there's two things that have been happening for the last 306 consecutive weeks. So, like, considering like Monday is day one, Sunday is day seven. In that time, for almost 6 years, I've deadlifted 700 pounds at least once. So I've kept that streak alive for 306 weeks. Whether I'm sick, whether I'm hurt, whether I'm traveling, we always will
Mhm.
load 700 pounds on the bar and pull it for at least one. I've also been prepping for that thing that we talked about called the Hundo, which was 605 for dead, stiff bar, 315 on bench, and I started a timer, and I would do 605 for two, and then when it hit 1 minute, and then when it hit minute number two, I benched 315 for two, and I went back and forth alternating every minute on the minute for 100 minutes in a row. So it was 100 reps of 605, 100 reps of 315 in 100 minutes. By far the hardest, most painful, awful thing I've ever done to my body. And I'm never doing anything like that again, but I did it that one time. And so I can be that. I trained for like 2.5 years for that, which has no carryover to powerlifting, which is why no one will ever do it, because anybody who's strong enough to do it is not fucking dumb enough to do it. So
I've basically regrown both my legs, and you talking about what you just did, I'm like, yeah, I'm a pussy.
we showed the clip earlier today
we can
of
show it
what
again.
my hands. We can, yeah.
Please.
Let's show
Is
Travis.
there subsections of you like vomiting violently into a bucket or something? Like,
It
there's no
was
way I wouldn't
literally
throw up
one of
in
the things I said is like, I don't even have to worry if like someone's like, well, you know, if someone was on, like, I think a lot of anabolic agents, if somebody was like, you know, a little bit geared up and trying to do it, you're just not gonna have the cardio capacity. It's like it's gonna blow out somebody's lungs if they tried to do it. Okay, yeah. Content warning for anybody who's
Yes.
looking at this. If you are easily squeamish, so this happened to my hands like 30 minutes in. So we're talking over an hour and a half of solid lifting, right? This is
Also, we might be on a Twitch front page, so if any Twitch staff is watching, just you know, this is it's TOS friendly. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it doesn't break any rules, but it was this happened to my hands like 30 minutes in, and I still had 70 minutes to go.
I put them in some ice water to get the inflammation down.
This was afterwards, right? The aftermath. It took.
Oh, I can see it hanging from here.
Yeah,
It's gonna be.
So
That's
the
the little teaser, I guess. The spoiler alert coming up.
102
And I'm trying to warn everybody. Yeah, I'm not kidding.
One of those was
It's the worst my hands have
bench
ever gotten.
315 100 times
by a large
in
degree.
one workout. Okay.
So this is me trying to warn
5,
everybody, like, look
4.
away if you're squeamish, because I really didn't want to freak people out with it.
Yes. Again, guys, trigger warning. He is going to show his hands. If you do not like seeing disgusting things,
Yeah,
look away.
We did this September 25th, which is also, you see that 705 deadlift ahead of it on the thing. That was week number 300 of the 700 streak, and then we followed it up with the 605 315. All right, go ahead.
Gore incoming.
3, 2, 1. Look away if you're squeamish.
Oh.
This is my hand.
Every tip of
Jesus.
every finger.
Look
I stopped, so I was
have
taping them as I went.
identified-
I was
you
like
can't really
trying
see
to
this one.
cover them up with some Hartman 8 AC tape.
No
But what was
strappies for
happening
this boy.
is
Look
the
how
blood
flappy
was
they
just
all are, huh?
like was just
This one-
going through it
this
and
one
slipping
started
anyway, so I
on
just stopped
set number
even
22.
bothering.
We're at 30.
And no blood at all, which is shocking.
It's all on the bar.
Yeah, but it's like they've been sitting in a pool for like 8 hours. You're all pruned up.
It was
so it's tearing worse.
not fun. Yeah, Jess had to patch me up for like 3 straight days. I was in so much pain. Like every muscle in my body was exhausted and completely like destroyed, that I was laying there and something would cramp and I'd like kind of roll away from the cramp, but then that would trigger the opposite muscle to cramp. And so I was just kind of like, I was doing my own version of a starfish where it's like every time I moved, it's like something would just hurt. I was absolutely miserable for like 4 days afterwards.
Oh,
But
man.
we did it. Never have to do it again.
Oh, dude,
and I won't.
can I be that? Can I be that guy real quick? Can you pull up Ben's open powerlifting?
Yeah. Here.
Dude, I gotta peep this.
I haven't really competed in a while, so the last time you're gonna probably see anything on there would be I want to say USAPL Raw Nationals from like 2020, 2019.
Oh wow, okay, so it's
Right.
been a couple years.
Yeah, I was gonna take a break to focus on stream stuff, and then COVID hit, and yeah.
Ooh, this does not look good on stream.
Dang, that's a lot of meats, man. How many meats?
I don't know. I started competing in 2005. So
I don't
with
even
like
have that here. Yeah.
high school stuff. Yeah. No, it was before open powerlifting was a thing. So
Oh
used
yeah,
to-
so
my
cool.
man. My man got that DQ.
I have one bomb, I think.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was so I tried a
Congrats.
water cut for the first time. And I lost. I was competing as a 198 and I was like 207, day up, like getting down and doing the water cut. And I want to say, I don't know if it says my body weight on there. I dipped under 190,
wait.
I think. And it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I overshot it
192.
and could.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that was it.
yeah.
That was it. Yeah,
6 pounds
207
under,
to
yeah.
192. It was
Yeah.
it was awful. Day of, I didn't gain any of it back, and so my squat was an absolute struggle, just to even stay in. And then I also found out that was the meet that kind of opened my eyes. My first dead got turned down, and I wasn't able to recover. I wasn't able to like get it back.
Mm.
All of the training weights, I was training at Central Washington University at the time, and all of the plates they had in their weight room were light, like a half-pound light.
Oh,
And so that's
no.
not,
Wow.
that's not a huge deal, but when you're above 700 pounds on stuff, like that ends up being like 15 or 20 pounds for your training. So I was completely off on like what I was gonna be able to do, and my body weight was just so randomly awful.
Yeah, this is like, what is that? 30 meets, probably.
I have no idea.
Because
I
I'm
never
I'm
really,
at 20. I'm at 25 right now.
Whoa. You guys have been competing a lot.
Yeah.
And Ben, you've been competing since you were 15, you said?
I started lifting in 1999 when I was 10. I call it lifting with intention. And then in 2005, I think, is the first meet that I would have on any kind of record when I was competing the Montesano High School powerlifting team. So it was, I don't know if it was a sanctioned thing, but Washington State Powerlifting had a series where it's like there was no division between, like, because I hadn't heard about like high school nationals or anything like that, right? And I don't know if even collegiate nationals were a thing at the time, but like we had the football coach Eric Stanfield had a bucket, had like a big 50-gallon garbage can of suits and shirts that he would just give out of like, try this, like you're in here, and like only the powerlifters were allowed to deadlift, and no one else was allowed to deadlift in the weight room after school. And so it was like you just kind of show up and do your thing the best you could. We were competing like once a month, basically, because it was like, yeah, you do a meet during powerlifting season. And so I was on the varsity soccer team at the same time that I was competing on a monthly basis. You'd show up, you'd host it, we're doing the Shelton High School is having the meet for this month, and then next month it's going to be here, and the next month it's going to be here. You need to do those to get a qualifying total to be able to lift at the high school state meet at the end of the year. And so yeah, I competed probably from 2005 to 2009, probably
That's
like
crazy,
5 or
man.
6 times a year, just doing those just at the high school level. And then
While
afterwards
playing
I did
sports.
well, because you couldn't do one and not the other, right? Like that happened, and then I was doing deadlift only meets for a while, but still training full power. Did a lot of conjugate style training afterwards, because that's what you did, everything was geared. And so I was doing WABDL deadlift onlys. Went to a couple of those world championship things, and then started doing. I did SPF. I did USPF before it became the USPA, and then the UPAA, which is the drug tested version of the UPA, which is I think what like the Lillibridge brothers were doing. And so yeah, just
How old are you, Ben?
It sounds like he's a lot older, huh?
Yeah, dude. I'm like this man.
I said, I started when I was pretty young. I do. Duro, how old am I? I just had a birthday. I don't keep track. 34. Thank you. I'm 34.
Oh shit!
Just
You're
turned
only
34
1
in
year older
October.
than me. I'm 33.
Oh, you guys are all old. Oh.
How old are you?
I'm 31.
Baby
Oh,
Joe.
dude, get the fuck out of here.
Baby Joe.
I'm still young
Little-
and spry, you know?
Little baby Joe.
It's because we've competed too much and destroyed our bodies. It makes
Yeah.
you feel older.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, guys, this was awesome. I think it's time. We definitely went 30 minutes over our allotted time here, but it's okay. It's
Good
live
talks,
streaming.
though.
It's Twitch.
Good talks.
Yeah, honestly, the funny thing is when you guys both started talking about the lifts, Ben's disgusting hands, people seem to really like that we tripled our viewership.
Nice.
So that might be the secret, Ben. I'm just going to bring you on every week. We'll talk about your hands.
Tear my hands up more. Yeah, great. Let me just go ahead and get a cheese grater and some razor blades. You guys will have a great time. You monsters.
Before we raid out to another streamer, Travis, I would love it if you can tell people where they can find you. And again, a little bit about your organization. I really cannot stress it enough. I think it's a really good thing that you're doing. And I want more people to help support it and, just give you money, like just send you things.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. So you can find me on Instagram at Papa Bear Rogers. You can find my gym link in the bio, and then also at the Bear Cave _MD is my gym I own. And then my wife is also up there, Mama Bear Rogers. We both run the coaching team together. We are accepting new clients if anyone's interested in that department. But I don't know. Ben kind of made me look bad, so you might want to go with him instead of me.
You guys are great, and I'm excited to see all the stuff. I'm mostly playing Final Fantasy 14 now. I'm still doing all my lifting and training, but I'm not gonna lie. If you come by my stream, you're like, hey, what's up? We're probably in a raid in a massive multiplayer online game. But
Ben, are you going to be streaming Final Fantasy later tonight?
no, tonight I'm on 3 hours of sleep right now, my guy. I wanted to not be late for you. I'm gonna go upstairs. I'm gonna lay down on the couch and pet our rabbits while I try to recover for tomorrow.
You can also reach me. I write and I'm a published columnist. I work for Elite FTS. So if you want to read any of my articles covering from things like Ben was talking about, like fitting gear, weight cuts. By the way, Ben, I write very good water cuts. Just
I'm never doing that stuff again, my guy. But
yeah, mine are tried and true. If you ever want to check that out. EliteFTS.com. I write for them. You can see it. I rock the company all the time. But you can look me up for my author profile on there. I have free programs, both conjugate and linear, peak programs, water cut protocols, perspective pieces, you name it. You can check all those out. Also for the 501c3 charity I own, it's called the Papa Bear Strong Foundation. We've been a charity for, I want to say, 4 years now. 5 years now, because it was right when I got back from nationals in 2018. Yeah, you'll see our shops down right now because we're about to do that new drop in December. I think it's December 3rd is going to be I'll reopen the online store again. But I think Joe Gray from Garage Gym, he still has the GCC t-shirts for sale that I designed that'll go to the charity as well. We raised $2,000 this year to go back to underprivileged school children at the communities and district and the surrounding ones I work for, where it goes straight to the food pantry to help kids. I work at a high needs school district, which is 90% qualified, free breakfast, free lunch. So very, very poor. Yeah, it's very, very poor area. A lot of drug busts. It's pretty tough over there. A lot of broken homes. So all my money goes back to feeding those kids on, especially on our extended breaks like winter break, Thanksgiving. Summer's also extremely hard, obviously, because you got, most kids are like, hey, I can't wait for summer break, but our kids are like, hey, here's 2.5 months. I got to worry about how I'm gonna eat.
Mm-hmm.
So all our money goes back to buying stuff for the food pantries. I drop it off myself from the orders and stuff to the school with my truck, and have some of my alumni kids help me out there. Um, but all the money from the GCC, all the money from like my charity T-shirts and stuff, it goes to that. We also host charity meets. If anyone who competed on the GCC wants to actually do a competition, a sanctioned one, like me and Ben have been talking about, you can always check out my Instagram, look at the WRPF schedule for all the meets I host in Maryland and Delaware and Virginia, and come do one of ours. Be more than happy to help you. Um, but yeah, man, it's all about giving back. It's all about providing kids on things they need, from sports equipments to cold winter gear to walk to school when it's rough outside. So our big thing right now is food. Food is definitely a necessity at our school district. So I really just want to say thank you guys for having me on here, and I appreciate everybody for donating and helping out with the garage gym competition this year.
Wow, well said. Ben, you want to add anything before we raid out to domination time?
Just thank you all to everybody who participated in the lifting, who submitted videos. I am sorry if we didn't get a chance to go over your stuff. There were so many great submissions, and I think Joe said he's going to be trying to go over some of them kind of later outside this official time.
Yeah.
If your lift wasn't shown, it's not because it wasn't good or wasn't valid. We're just limited. The two of us have been up for 9 hours trying to put this out there to the best of our ability, and have it be something that isn't just play video and let them all run. But we really appreciate everybody for participating. Thank you to everybody who is supporting all of it, who's supporting all the things. Thank you to everybody who came on and were the guest commentators. Joe and I both still stream regularly. Go by, here this stream, follow this account to be able to catch Joe. He does some gaming stuff, he does some lifting stuff. Genuinely one of the kindest souls I've ever met. An incredibly compassionate, caring person, and just good to be around. Sometimes you get to see Lori too, and it's wonderful to watch their dynamic. Some of the best people on the platform. He ran all this stuff. He deserves all the credit for all the things that are working here. He's running all the things. Super big. Guys. A team effort that okay, well, I'm removing myself from that. Calvin, Meep, and Minnie, who were working in the background, making sure that all the guests that came on with their commentary, like working through all that technical stuff, helping set up the scenes, helping Joe with that. To Joe Gray for getting all of the stuff and then getting it to this Joe. All of that, I literally just show up. Joe says, "Hey, it's this time. Do you remember?" And I'll go, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be there." And I show up, and we have fun. But it wouldn't happen at all if it wasn't for him. He can say his stream schedule. I'm still training 4 days a week and doing a lot of gaming stuff as well. If you want to come hang out with me, I'm always happy to answer sincere, genuine questions. We do a lot of jokes. We do a lot of memes. Been playing a lot of games, but people are more than one thing. And if you want to come by for some of the stuff and you're less interested in some of the other things, anybody on this platform has the capacity to be more than one thing, and I would encourage you to give that a chance and engage with the people. Fitness on Twitch can only exist if people show up for it. So yes. I would encourage you all to support that. If it's not my stream or if it's not Joe's stream, other people in the category, keep it alive, because if people don't come around and support that being hosted and being present on the platform, then it disappears, because it's a lot of time and energy and effort to put ourselves out there and become available and answer those questions. And if you want access to people that are enthusiastic and excited to share all that with you, it really comes from the support of people just giving some of their time or their attention if they have it. So thank you all so much for being here, for supporting this event. Continue to support Joe. We love you all. And Joe, final word's yours.
I mean, I don't know how I follow that, guys. Ben basically summed everything up. I just want to reiterate again, if we didn't get to your video on Tuesday and or Thursday, I'll be going over the rest of the videos, just so I can provide my 2 cents on it and give you the screen time that you guys deserve. We're gonna be rating out to Tomination Time. He's the first fitness partner here on Twitch. He does a lot for the community as well. Granted, he's not doing fitness stuff right now at this very moment. He's playing Baldur's Gate, so if you guys are interested in Baldur's Gate, he's doing that. So when you guys get over there, please shoot him a follow, say what's up, let him know how the Garage Gym competition live commentary went. And yeah, I'll see you guys on my stream back on Monday for bench press. We're going to be working our bench.
Have a great night, everybody.
Also, side note, just to let you know, Joe, Ben just followed me back on Instagram, so we're now also friends. So I'm just saying.
Confirmed. Yep.
Okay. Wow. It feels a little targeted, but okay.
All right, guys. I'm going to get off here. I appreciate you guys very much.
Nice to meet you, Travis. Goodbye.
All right.
See you guys.